US Vice President JD Vance sparked controversy at the Munich Security Conference in February, where he accused Europe of restricting free speech and endangering democracy. On Wednesday, at a meeting in Washington sponsored by the Munich Security Conference, he sounded like a different man, highlighting the close ties between the United States and Europe. Vance even said Europe and America are on the same team. He went on to criticize Russia, saying it was asking for too much in its initial peace negotiations over Ukraine.
So much that if you have an hour conversation with either side, the first 30 minutes are...
Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber is in Washington for us. Polar opposites there. Can you explain this about face?
That's right. He seemed like a different man if we compared what he said here in Washington and what he said in Munich in February, with those concern that led many alarmed of those who attended the Munich Security Conference over what this would mean for the transatlantic alliance between the United States and with Europe. Now it was way calmer. It was more conciliatory, the tone that he had in that conversation here with many policy leaders that gathered here in Washington. What he said, we are on the same team. He also, speaking about the war in Ukraine, he spoke about a full-scale invasion by Russia, that they are asking for too much. So definitely also something that many European leaders wanted to hear. He congratulated German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, saying that they will soon be more with talks between President Trump and also German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. So definitely a different man to what he said back in February in Munich.
Now, Merz has a phone call with President Trump Thursday. What can we expect there?
So we can expect that on the top of the agenda will be something that all of the European leaders that came to Washington and spoke to President Trump addressed. That's the war in Ukraine, also how Europe can ramp up its defense expenditures, and also how they can work together, how they can overcome the differences that they see in the transatlantic relationship. And that's what President Trump spoke about with French President Emmanuel Macron, with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and also with the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. And it will be very interesting because Friedrich Merz has been an outspoken critic of the US president after being elected. He even spoke about Germany needing some kind of independence from the United States. He opened this idea of that there might even be the need to find an alternative for NATO, for the defense alliance. So it will definitely be interesting today when he went to Paris and then to Warsaw to meet both of the neighbors of Germany. He said there is still no date for a trip to Washington, but we can expect Friedrich Merz to be here in the United States in the next couple of weeks.
Just briefly, do you think they'll talk about the AfD, now classified an extremist party previously endorsed by Trump officials?
They will, by high-ranking officials of the Trump administration, by Elon Musk, by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and also by JD Vance, who have been outspoken supporters of the far-right AfD. Let's just briefly remember JD Vance met with Alice Weidel, one of the heads of the party, when he was in Munich there. So they have been really outspoken, and it will definitely also be on their agenda to speak about the status now of the AfD that has been marked by Germany as an extremist party.
Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber there for us.